I am leading the Vatican now. These words, spoken with quiet confidence by Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, reverberated through the halls of the Vatican and beyond. It was a moment that many had not anticipated, a declaration that seemed to come out of nowhere, yet carried the weight of destiny. The announcement sent shockwaves through the Catholic world, leaving many in a state of disbelief. The faithful, the clergy, and even the skeptics were all taken aback by the sudden shift in leadership. It was an unprecedented declaration, one that signaled a potential sea change in the Church's hierarchy and direction. The Vatican, with its centuries-old traditions and deeply rooted doctrines, was now poised on the brink of transformation. What did it mean for the future of the Catholic Church? The faithful pondered this question, their hearts filled with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. Would this new leadership bring about the much-needed reforms? Or would it lead to further divisions within the Church? What would it mean for the billion souls who looked to the Vatican for spiritual guidance? The world watched with bated breath, each person wondering how this change would impact their faith and their lives. This was not a power grab, not a declaration of ambition. Cardinal Tagle's words were not those of a man seeking to elevate himself, but rather of one who understood the gravity of the responsibility that had been placed upon his shoulders. Cardinal Tagle, known for his humility and compassion, was not the kind of man to seize power. His life had been a testament to service, to putting others before himself, and to leading with a gentle yet firm hand. His words, rather, were a statement of purpose, a recognition of the mantle of responsibility that had fallen upon him. He was acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead, and he approached them with a sense of duty and devotion. The world watched, a mixture of anticipation and apprehension in its gaze. News outlets around the globe covered the story, each with their own interpretation of what this new chapter in the Vatican's history would entail. Cardinal Tagle's journey had been remarkable, his rise through the ranks steady and inspiring. From his early days as a young priest in the Philippines to his elevation as a cardinal, his path had been one of unwavering faith and dedication. But this was different. This was the Vatican, the epicenter of the Catholic faith, the place where decisions that shaped the lives of millions were made. The weight of this new role was immense, and the expectations were high. Could this humble man from the Philippines, with his gentle smile and his message of love, truly steer the Church into a new era? His connection with the people, his ability to relate to their struggles and joys, was his greatest strength. The answer, like the future itself, remained shrouded in uncertainty. The path ahead was unclear, and the challenges were many. But there was a sense of hope, a belief that perhaps, just perhaps, this new leadership could bring about the change that so many longed for. But one thing was clear: the Church was at a crossroads, and Cardinal Tagle, whether he sought it or not, was now its guide. His journey, his vision, and his faith would shape the future of the Catholic Church, and the world would be watching every step of the way. Cardinal Tagle's journey to the heart of the Vatican was a testament to his unwavering faith and dedication. His path was not an easy one, but it was marked by a profound sense of purpose and a deep commitment to his calling. From the bustling streets of Manila to the hallowed halls of the Vatican, his story is one of resilience, compassion, and an unyielding devotion to his faith. Born in the bustling city of Manila, Philippines, Cardinal Tagle grew up amidst the vibrant culture and rich traditions of his homeland. The city, with its mix of modernity and history, provided a unique backdrop for his formative years. It was here that he first encountered the diverse tapestry of human experiences that would later shape his ministry. His early life was steeped in the warmth of Filipino Catholicism. The faith was not just a set of beliefs, but a way of life, deeply integrated into the daily rhythms of the community. From attending Mass with his family to participating in local religious festivals, young Tagle was immersed in a spiritual environment that nurtured his growing faith. It was a faith that thrived in the communities, where people came together to support one another in times of joy and sorrow. These communal bonds were a source of strength and inspiration for Tagle, teaching him the importance of solidarity and compassion, a faith that resonated deeply with the young Tagle. He found solace and purpose in the rituals and teachings of the Church, which provided a guiding light through the challenges of his youth. His devotion was evident to all who knew him, marking him as someone destined for a life of spiritual service. His path was not one of privilege or entitlement. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, he experienced firsthand the struggles and hardships faced by many Filipinos. These early experiences instilled in him a deep empathy for the marginalized and a commitment to social justice. He understood the struggles of ordinary people, the daily battles they fought to make ends meet. This understanding was not just intellectual but deeply personal, shaping his approach to ministry and his interactions with those he served. The challenges faced by those living on the margins were not abstract concepts to him. He saw their faces, heard their stories, and felt their pain. This empathy would become a cornerstone of his ministry, driving him to advocate for the voiceless and the vulnerable. This understanding, this empathy, would become a cornerstone of his ministry. It informed his sermons, his pastoral care, and his approach to leadership. He was not just a shepherd of souls, but a champion of human dignity and social justice. His intellectual prowess was evident from a young age. A voracious reader and a keen student, he excelled in his studies, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to understand the deeper truths of his faith. He excelled in his studies, drawn to the complexities of theology and philosophy. These disciplines offered him a framework to explore the profound questions of existence, morality, and the divine. His thirst for knowledge led him to the seminary, where he delved deeper into the scriptures and the teachings of the Church. It was a period of intense intellectual and spiritual growth, preparing him for the responsibilities that lay ahead. In the seminary, he immersed himself in the study of the Bible and the rich traditions of the Church. This deep dive into sacred texts and theological discourse equipped him with the tools to become a thoughtful and effective leader. Ordained as a priest in 1982, he embarked on a journey of service that would span continents and touch countless lives. His ordination was not just a personal milestone, but a commitment to a life dedicated to others. He embarked on a journey of service that would span continents and touch countless lives. From the parishes of the Philippines to international missions, his work took him to diverse communities, each with its own unique challenges and opportunities. He served as a parish priest, tending to the spiritual needs of his flock. His sermons were known for their depth and compassion, resonating with people from all walks of life. He taught in seminaries, nurturing the next generation of priests. His role as an educator allowed him to share his knowledge and passion for the faith, inspiring young seminarians to follow in his footsteps. And he rose through the ranks of the Church, his wisdom and compassion recognized at every step. His leadership was marked by a balance of intellectual rigor and heartfelt empathy, qualities that earned him respect and admiration. His wisdom and compassion recognized at every step. As he ascended to higher positions within the Church, these qualities became even more pronounced, guiding his decisions and shaping his vision for a more inclusive and compassionate world. Cardinal Tagle's leadership style was a reflection of the man himself, humble, compassionate, and deeply spiritual. It was a leadership style forged not in the halls of power, but in the heart of the community. Humility, for Cardinal Tagle, was not a sign of weakness, but a source of strength. It allowed him to connect with people from all walks of life, to listen with an open heart and a compassionate ear. He understood that leadership was not about wielding authority, but about empowering others. Harmony was another defining feature of his approach. He believed in building bridges, not walls. He understood the importance of dialogue and understanding, especially in a world increasingly riven by division and conflict. His efforts to foster interfaith dialogue to find common ground between different religions were a testament to this belief. He was a man of the people, approachable, down to earth, and always ready with a smile. He treated everyone with respect and dignity, regardless of their station in life. It was this quality, this genuine warmth, that endeared him to so many. Cardinal Tagle's declaration sent ripples of anticipation through the Catholic world. His words were not just a statement, but a clarion call for change, resonating deeply with those who have long yearned for a more progressive and compassionate church. The anticipation was palpable, as many saw in him a beacon of hope, a leader who could steer the church towards a future that embraced both tradition and modernity. Could this be the dawn of a new era for the church? An era marked by greater transparency, inclusivity, and a renewed focus on social justice? The question lingered in the air as the faithful and the curious alike pondered the possibilities. The church, with its centuries-old traditions, seemed on the cusp of a transformation that could redefine its role in the modern world. The potential for change was immense, and the excitement was matched by a cautious optimism. His track record suggested a commitment to these values. Cardinal Tagle had always been a man of the people, deeply connected to the communities he served. His interactions with parishioners were not just formalities, but genuine engagements, reflecting his belief in the importance of listening and understanding the needs of the faithful. His community outreach efforts were a testament to his dedication to social justice and his desire to make a tangible difference in the lives of those he served. He had spoken out against poverty and inequality, urging the church to be a voice for the voiceless. His speeches were not just words but calls to action, challenging the church to take a stand against the systemic issues that perpetuate poverty and inequality. He believed that the church had a moral obligation to advocate for the marginalized and to work towards creating a more just and equitable society. His commitment to these issues was unwavering, and his actions spoke louder than his words. He had championed the cause of migrants and refugees, calling for compassion and understanding in a world increasingly hostile to the displaced. His work with refugees was particularly notable, as he sought to highlight their plight and to advocate for their rights. He believed that the church had a responsibility to provide support and sanctuary to those who had been forced to flee their homes, and he worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the challenges they faced. His efforts were a reminder of the church's mission to serve the least among us. His vision for the church was one of openness and dialogue, a church that embraced the complexities of the modern world while remaining true to its core values. He believed that the church should be a place where all voices could be heard, and where differences could be celebrated rather than feared. His efforts to engage in interfaith dialogue were particularly significant, as he sought to build bridges between different religious communities and to promote mutual understanding and respect. His vision was one of a church that was not insular but outward-looking, ready to engage with the world in meaningful ways. He believed in the power of faith to heal divisions and bring people together. His approach to leadership was deeply rooted in his spirituality, and he often spoke about the importance of prayer and reflection in guiding his actions. He believed that faith could be a unifying force, capable of bridging divides and fostering a sense of community and solidarity. His emphasis on the spiritual dimension of his work was a reminder of the Church's mission to provide not just material support, but also spiritual nourishment to its followers. Would he be able to implement his vision within the often rigid structures of the Vatican? The question loomed large as many wondered whether his progressive ideas would be met with resistance from the more conservative elements within the Church. The Vatican, with its long history and deeply entrenched traditions, was not known for its willingness to embrace change. Yet, there was a sense that Cardinal Tagle's unique blend of humility, charisma, and determination might just be what was needed to overcome these challenges. The Curia, the Church's governing body, was known for its bureaucracy and resistance to change. The intricate web of protocols and procedures that defined the Curia's operations often made it difficult for new ideas to take root. However, Cardinal Tagle's reputation as a reformer gave many hope that he could navigate these complexities and bring about meaningful change. His ability to build consensus and to inspire others with his vision would be crucial in this endeavor. Yet, there was a sense of hope, a cautious optimism that perhaps, just perhaps, this time things would be different. The faithful, weary of the status quo, were eager for a leader who could breathe new life into the Church. and guide it towards a more inclusive and compassionate future. The sight of people lighting candles and praying for change was a powerful testament to the deep yearning for transformation that permeated the Catholic community. Cardinal Tagle's reputation as a reformer, his unwavering commitment to the poor and marginalized, gave people reason to believe. His grassroots work and his focus on social justice issues had earned him the respect and admiration of many. As he stepped into this new role, the world watched with bated breath, hopeful that his leadership would usher in a new era for the Church, one that was more attuned to the needs and aspirations of its followers. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more updates and intriguing content.